Hey guys, Shane here. This is not a knife video. It is EDC related though. I wanted to go over something that's getting pretty popular in the EDC community, and that is the Knipex or Knipex pliers, however you want to pronounce it. Guys, there's no debate. There's no reason to argue. These are the best and handiest pair of pliers, possibly the handiest tool ever made. Because I was a mechanic for about 25 years before my health kind of gave way on me. But anyway, I've owned what I call Knipex pliers that entire time. I've never been without a set of Knipex pliers. These are getting really popular. This is the 4-inch model. I'll tell you though, guys, as convenient as that sounds, I would still go with the 6-inch. They're I mean, they look significantly larger. They don't carry that much larger, but they work a whole lot better. You just get a lot more leverage with them. But what I wanted to go over is why the Knipex or Knipex work so well, and a cautionary tale on how not to use them. First of all, I want to start with a lot of you guys are going to laugh at this, that you guys that are mechanically inclined or tradesmen. But a lot of people don't know this, but these pliers are not designed to be used backwards. What I mean by that is that when you apply these pliers, they're only designed to work in one direction. As you can see, these things are actually holding themselves their own weight because of the way of the design. The larger ones do that even better because they weigh more. They're only designed to work in this direction. When you push against the jaws of these pliers, you don't have to squeeze them like you do a standard pair of pliers. You can simply push down on this handle as long as you're going the correct direction, and the teeth of these pliers are angled back so that they bite, and the harder you push down, instead of slipping or depending on how tight you can grip them, the better those teeth grab. And as you can see how it's contorting my finger there, the better a bite you get and the better odds you have of breaking the fastener loose. Now, if you're not up with carrying a pair of pliers this big, I understand. I would at least get the 4-inch. I would rather have these than nothing. A great example is guys, I spent most of my mechanicking years, my hobbies were all pertained to off-road. Which is why these pliers are not the ones I'm using as for the video. As you can see, they are heavily rusted because these stayed in my rock crawler for years, and it is a tool still. So they did rust and seize up on me. The only thing it seizes the buttons, so I can't adjust them. I'm gonna soak these in some Krill oil and see if I can't fix that. But anyway, like I said, I never left the house. I never went into the woods without a pair of Knipex pliers and a brass hammer. I'll get into a brass hammer later if you understand the advantages to having a brass hammer versus a steel one. But anyway, I never went in the woods without them, and I was never towed home. Now, guys, if you off-road long enough, you're going to break something. There's just no way around that. You're going to break stuff. I could carry an entire toolkit with me, but I didn't do that because my outlook on off-roading was a little different than I rode with a lot of guys that run 2.5-ton axle trucks. Mine was all Toyota powered. It was a tube frame rock buggy. I lived by the idea that it's easier to push an empty wheelbarrow up a hill than it is to push a wheelbarrow with 500 pounds in it. That reduced weight made it much easier to overcome obstacles, so I kept my buggy at the lightest weight possible, and that worked very, very well for me. There's more times than I can count. I conquered an obstacle before trucks twice as big and tall and powerful as mine. But anyway, like I said, I always took these with me. Now, the day that really concreted that in my mind that I'd never be without them, buddy of mine was climbing a rather gnarly hill in a Jeep Cherokee and broke a front axle. He ended up in a very precarious position where he could not back up. We would have needed chainsaws and probably a bulldozer to get him backed down the hill. and he was on his passenger door. So we tied the truck off to a tree, and with a brass hammer and a pair of 10-inch Knipex pliers, I removed the front wheel, the front brake caliper, the front brake rotor, the entire spindle, retrieved the broken axle out of the front differential, replaced it, rolled the Jeep back onto its tires, pulled my truck in front of him, hooked to him, and pulled him to the top of the hill. Guys, I know people that have stories about these things that go on for days, and how their tails were saved because they had a pair of Knipex pliers on. They're becoming very popular in the cycling community. There's no doubt in my mind I could completely disassemble any bicycle made with maybe this pair, probably not this pair. These just don't provide enough torque, in my opinion, for heavy duty applications. But and it doesn't matter what the fastener is, as long as it's not a flush mounted screw, I can remove it with this, whether it's Torx or hex head, regardless of what it is. These things will do it. I spent a long amount of time working in the service department of a quick oil change, and anytime a car came in with a stripped out drain plug, they would yell at me, "Hey, come see if you can get this plug out." I went down there with a pair of 10-inch Knipex. I never failed to get one out. So guys, for those of you who already own these, you made an excellent purchase decision. Like I said, this pair right here is about 20 years old. They're not working right now. That's my own fault. I left them in a vehicle with, that didn't have a top or windows, and kind of forgot they were in there. And they got rained on and rusted. But bar that, every other pair I have are still going. The only thing that really can ruin these pliers is using them backwards. And what I mean by that is putting them on a fastener and squeezing them tightly, and instead of applying pressure to the longer arm here, the side you're supposed to, is trying to turn them the opposite direction. The reason that will destroy them is it flattens those teeth. It will actually roll them because they're not designed to be used that way. So keep that in mind. Guys, I wouldn't go anywhere without a pair of these. There's a pair in my truck. There's 2 or 3 pairs around my home. There's a pair of this size in my bug out / get home bag. These are an excellent investment. Don't try to skimp and buy something cheaper, because every channel that reviews tools have tested these. Nothing is better. However, it's not one of those tools that, because it's the best possible tool in the world, it's the absolute best version of what it does. They're not that much more expensive. It's a wise investment. So if you guys haven't already, get yourself a pair of Knipex or Knipex pliers. These are not made in America. These are German engineered and German made, but they're an incredible tool. So that's all I got for you guys today. You guys know I appreciate any amount of time you spend with me, and peace. Love y'all.